Hey, what's up? This is Scott with Level Up Tuts, and today we're going to be creating and explaining bundled products. And now, bundled products, we haven't gone over them yet. In fact, they're really quite useful. However, they're only useful for the right type of product. So, I'm sure many of you are familiar with going to buy a computer. Perhaps you're on Apple or Dell or whoever's website, and you select your computer, and it's the base model, and that's the computer itself. And then it allows you to configure components, and you can say, add this processor for $200 more, add 4 more gigabytes of RAM for a few $100s more, whatever. So that is what you would use this bundled product for. Now, the bundled product is a whole bunch of products that you would only buy together, and you can upgrade or change or whatever. So using that computer example, I'm going to be using the sample data, and I'm going to create a simple bundled product, and we're going to enable that and see exactly that process. So keep in mind that a bundled product, just like a configurable product, just like a grouped product, uses simple products to fill it out. So let's go ahead and we're going to create a bundled product. And we're actually going to use simple products that already exist within the sample data. So keep in mind that that step of the process, you're just going to be creating a whole bunch of simple products with their SKUs, their price, whatever, like normal. And then we're going to come to catalog, manage products, and then we're going to add a new product. And so from here, we're going to just select a default attribute set, and we're going to go down here and select bundle product. Continue, and let's just call this level up computer. And the SKU is going to be dynamic, and this is just going to be the first half of the SKU. The weight is going to be dynamic, so this is you could say that no matter what, the whole package is going to be 100 pounds. Or you could say it's dynamic and it's generated by the individual components. And the SKU itself, this is just like a prefix, so the other parts of the SKU are added to that. We're actually just going to keep this simple for the weight and just say it's 100 fixed. And then it's going to be enabled, of course. And that should be good here. And tax class is set to none because I guess that's to do with the individual products associated. And now we just want this available in catalog and search. Now let's add our pricing, and of course it's going to be dynamic, so we're not going to add anything here, and we're going to see that price add up as we add our components. Our meta information here is just going to be our normal meta information. Our image, we could use any image if you want. I don't have an image ready for this. I'm not going to bother. That's not the most important part of this. So description, we can just put some filler text in here. I'm going to use the same text as I used for the last video, which talks about blooming tea blooms. But again, it's not important. It's to fill up the space for this video. Now design, of course, we're not having anything for design like usual, no gift options. And we're going to say this is in stock. And now you'll keep in mind that the individual components also have to have their stock set up correctly. We want this to be available on the main website for categories, electronics, and then we're going to put this into computers, and we'll put this into build your own. And now let's go to related products. We're not going to have any custom options. We're not going to have any. In fact, bundle with dynamic pricing cannot include product options, so don't even worry about those. What the big thing here is this bundled items. And this screen is going to be like something, I mean, it looks the same as other product screens, but it's going to be something truly unique to bundled products. So you can ship bundled items separately or together. Since this is a computer, it's going to be built and then shipped together. So we'll leave this as together, and let's add a new option. So this is going to say what items are you going to select. Since this is a computer, we want to say maybe processor, and then now we can have it be a radio buttons, a checkbox, multiple select. I think a radio buttons makes sense for this, and we can say absolutely this is required, and the position is going to be 0 because we want this to be the very first option they select. Now when you click this add, you now bring up this familiar sort of way to look for products, and you can come down here and look at specific attribute sets. So we know we're looking for a CPU. If we look at that and click search, it's going to give us all of our available CPUs. Now, of course, I don't really know which ones are going to be compatible with what, but I'm just going to click this checkbox, and it's going to add all 4 of these as an option to our computer. Okay, awesome. That's great. So we now have 4 CPUs available to our bundled product. Let's actually click Save and Continue. Oh, of course, 1, 2, 3 is not a unique SKU. That's my fault for always using the same SKUs. Okay, our product is saved. Even though we just have 4 different items to select as radio buttons, let's see it in action to sort of see what's going on. Let's go to computers, build your own. And now we're going to look for the level up computer. And if we come to our build your own computers, you'll see it didn't show up. Okay, so this is a very important piece. After you add your products, you need to actually click this button. So let's come back to here to bundled items. Notice how we come back to here, we have nothing. I thought we selected something. Well, after you come here, select your CPU, we search, we click this checkbox, you then need to click this Add Selected Products to option. Without clicking this button, nothing's going to get added, you're not going to see anything, your product's not going to show up. So let's click that, and now you'll get this other information. You'll not only see default quantities, user-defined quantity, yes. We want to actually select this to no because they can have more than one processor in this. And then you could rank them in different positions. So let's go ahead and do that. Just for fun, we'll have these out of order. And this one can be the default option. Now, let's, of course, save and continue now. And if we refresh our products page, we're going to see our computer here. Level up computer. And notice how we have this from $98.99 to $2,000. And this is because the cheapest right now that you can get away with this computer for is $98.99, and the most expensive is $2,049. And this is something that comes with the bundled product simply by just creating a bundled product. As long as your theme supports this, you're going to see this from and to. And now let's click this. And you can see we have our product information just like normal, but now we have our processor, and it's a radio button. And it says, okay, if we want this Intel Core one, it's going to be $2,000. If we want this one, it's going to be $98. And we can only select one processor here. Here is our total prices configured, and it's just like buying a computer. So let's continue to add parts to our computer. So let's click Add New Option, and notice how it creates another option. If we want this to be the second thing they select, we're going to put one for weight. And we can actually make this a drop down just so you can see some of the different options. And I probably would use radio buttons again. If you'll notice, you go to like Apple's, I think it's all radio buttons. And we're going to click RAM. We want memory here. And now let's click search again. And we can add our various RAM options. Click add selected products to option. And we want them to be able to define their quantity. So we can say they can add more than 2 gigs of RAM if they want, and that's cool. Okay, and let's add another new option. And this one's going to be hard drive space. So we can say let's say what hard drive they want. And for this option, just to show you some of the other ones, we can have checkboxes, because hard drives in computers, you can probably have more than one. Let's say that, I mean, this is a desktop computer, right? You could have more than one hard drive, and we'll give them all options here. That way, if you have multiple hard drives in your computer, that's always, cool. So we could say they could have default quantity of 1, and let's say the 1 terabyte option is the default. Okay, so I think we have enough here that you get the idea. Let's save this product and let's check it out on our front end of our site. And just like any other experience when you're purchasing a computer or something like that, you could say, okay, I want the highest end processor. For memory, I guess I want 2 gigs of RAM, even though it's not that much. And I want one Western Digital hard drive. I also want a 500 gigabyte Western Digital hard drive too. I want both of these. In fact, if you wanted to be able to have an adjustable quantity like any of these fields, you would probably do something like a radio buttons with a quantity. That way they'd have to get the same hard drive. This checkbox is just a little bit different. Okay, so let's add to cart and let's see what happens. Instead of adding each individual product to the cart like we saw with the grouped product, we have this level up computer as one product, the complete total price, and the contents of our product in here. Keep in mind, every single one of these is a simple product itself, but bundled together in this bundled product. So that's how you create bundled products in Magento. It's really flexible. You can do all sorts of stuff with it, and I invite you to see other uses other than just maybe building a computer, what you can do with this. So as always, this is Scott with Level Up Tuts. If you have any questions or comments, leave a comment in the video. Hit us up at Twitter, Level Up Tuts. We love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and bye.